What is going on, powerhouses? Hope you guys are doing well today. I am excited for yet another Friday Face-Off, guys. This is going to be the last Friday Face-Off of 2017, and boy, did we really bring you the best of the best today, guys. It's going to be a great Friday feature, Friday Face-Off. First of all, you guys know the deal. If you are here watching with us live, let us know. Throw a W in the comments below. If you're watching on replay, not a problem. Throw an R in the comments below. Let us know you are here with us. I'm excited to be here. Now, today I'm joined by Serb. He is a 20-year veteran in marketing. So he's about to drop some major value bombs. Now, if you've read or listened to Serb before, if you haven't, after this video, go back, read his posts in Powerhouses, some extremely valuable stuff. We'll also share with you his group that he's got, Marketers Playbook. We'll give you the link towards that at the end of this video. But basically, Serb has had a client in every continent in over 75 different verticals, different business niches, different sectors. He's got a lot of insight that he can provide to you and us today for free. We're not selling anything today. We're just going to come on here and share some value with you and really help you close out the year strong and be excited about that. He's helped generate over 4,000% increase in lead flow in less than 45 days. He's helped boost client revenue by over 3,000 in 57 days. Guys, this guy knows what he's talking about. Serb is here to share his value. So without further ado, Serb, welcome to Prospecting Powerhouses. Welcome to the Friday Face-Off. How you doing today, man?
I'm doing very well, and yeah, welcome to everyone on the call. And I really appreciate the opportunity to speak with you all. And yeah, hopefully we'll all get some great value out of the next little while.
Love it.
60 minutes or less.
Yep, that's kind of the plan here. What's up, AZ? What's up, Tina? What's up, Sharon? Happy to have you guys here. Here is what we're going to be talking about today, guys. We're going to be talking about cold emails. Now, if you're in prospecting on demand, you know I'm big on cold emails. I really like that. We've got what we call the Simmons sequence. Shout out to POD Hall of Famer Shane Simmons. Great little 3-email sequence that we've created to kind of help you get more clients, get more leads in. And Serb today is going to be talking about some of the strategies he's been using in these different niches, verticals, sectors, areas of business that have been really very useful for them. So if you're watching now, if you've used cold email, just let us know, right? Like CE in the comments below. We'd like to know kind of how many of you are utilizing cold email. If you're not, if you have, really the biggest focus today is if you guys are interacting with us, we'll be able to answer all of your questions. We're going to go back also through some posts recently and talk about some ideas for cold email. But with that being said, I'm going to let kind of Serb lay the land out here for cold email and why he's utilized it for his business and the people that he works with. So Serb, why don't you tell us what you've seen with cold email over the last several years and why it's such an integral part of your business?
Firstly, because it's free. Yeah, I mean, we found that it's the most impactful way of getting to speak to the people you want to speak to and being able to pitch them, present to them, connect with them. And it works across the board, no matter what sector. As you rightly say, Alex, we've clients on every continent in dozens of different sectors, and it works for all of them. At the end of the day, it's still one human being connecting with another human being. You don't need any fancy funnels or anything like that. It's basically direct into them. Now, there are a few caveats, I'm sure we'll talk about as we go on, but, you don't always have to send to the generic info at or inquiries at, that kind of thing. You really have to try and get their name at. But, we talk about a few tips about how to get those in a little while. But you get past the gatekeeper. When they reply, you usually get their direct phone number and cell phone number, so you can just pick up the phone and speak direct to your prospect without having to go through a gatekeeper. Or even if you have to go through a gatekeeper, you're saying, hi, yeah, John, we've got a call scheduled with John. And, the gatekeeper's got nowhere to go, which always helps. And it's, yeah, as I said a moment ago, it's free. I mean, Facebook ads is fantastic. LinkedIn ads are fantastic. But cold email beats them both in our eyes. And, it's helped us generate 7 figures in as little as 3 months by using it well as part of an ongoing strategy.
Now, guys, that's what Serb was talking about, the $1 million in 3 months. He actually made a post on December 16th. You can go check that out. Kind of lays out the land of what he did. And we'll probably be speaking about that process a little bit today. Some of the things that I want to lay out as we kind of discuss the beginning process of cold email and why it's so valuable. One of the biggest things here that Serb said was that you're actually creating a relationship. What that also means is that we're not going to come on here and tell you that every canned script that you're going to get is going to work. That's not what we're talking about. That is the last thing we're actually talking about. That doesn't mean it can't work. Doesn't mean that if Serb or myself or a great copywriter was to bust out a really nice cold email and you just sent it out to 10,000, leads list, it wouldn't work. It could, and it probably will, but it's much more effective to build rapport, to create an opportunity, to understand your customer avatar, to understand what value they need from you, right? Something that's going to actually resonate. A lot of the times that I think about prospecting in general, especially cold emailing, is what I would think about if I was the lead. All right. Now, I get a lot of cold emails. Most of them go to my junk mail, thankfully, because they're terrible. And you know what we'll do here, maybe not this second, but I will share my screen and share with you guys some of these really bad cold emails that we've gotten. And these are from companies just sending out hundreds of thousands of these every day. Now, you might be thinking, well, if those companies are sending them and it's not working, then this can't work at all. And that's just not true. That's just not true. So I'm going to kick it here to Serb in a second to kind of give us some of his laying of the land on how he kind of formulates a cold email strategy that works for him and in different verticals so that you can replicate that moving into the new year and really be successful with it. While we're there, I see a bunch of people on here that I want to shout out. What's up, Adam, Joel, Margie, Talvir, and Jason? We got a lot of the POD fam here. What's up, Josh? Also, love you guys. Appreciate you guys. Hope you're doing well. If you're watching live, let us know. Throw a W in below. If you've done cold emails, let us know with the CE as well. We just want to kind of get a lay of the land, understand where people are coming from. So, Serb, why don't you give us an idea of where you get started with cold email? All right, let's say someone knows nothing about cold email, but they want to try that process out. What would you get started with? What would you tell them about?
I would say pick a high-paying niche or sector. That'd be the first thing. Don't go banging your head against a brick wall going for, low-paying clients. Go for the big ones so that the people that do reply, it means, they have money and you can have a meaningful conversation with them. I would say, I touched on it a moment ago, look for the name at rather than info at. There's plenty of directories and there's various tools where you can scrape LinkedIn or Facebook, things like that to get these direct emails. Obviously, consider all the relevant laws and regulations. Every country is different, but essentially, as long as you've got a physical address and you have an opt-out mechanism, the opt-out mechanism can simply be a line at the bottom of the email, right way down. As long as it's on the email, then you should be okay. Saying, if you don't want to hear from me again, just reply stop. So you're just covering your behind there, really, in terms of regulation. And then for the actual email itself, you want to speak directly to the pain point of the client or the prospect. And that how we do it, we take a fairly, generic's probably the wrong word, but we take a fairly similar approach that we go direct for the pain point, and then the email itself is literally 4 or 5 sentences. With the upshot of it is that we're asking them to get in touch with us if they're interested. And
short to the point.
Yeah, because we've all had them where 2 pages long of we do this, we do that, and best SEO service in world, and it's just like whatever. You're not interested. Don't mention what you do. Just talk about the result or the solution to that pain. And when you get a reply back, I'm giving you like a major strategy here for nothing, but I normally charge money for this. But I give a lot more detail for money. But anyway, I'm giving you the strategy, the overall that you can take from it. So when you start getting the replies, have something like Calendly set up. Calendly's free, or do the $12 a month one where it gives you a lot more flexibility. But either way, the free version's good. And so you then send a follow-up saying, hey, great, thanks for your interest or thanks for your reply. Let's have a quick 5-minute chat and see if there's a fit. Here's a link to my calendar. Looking forward to speaking to you soon. Thanking you in advance. Boom. And then what you find is, I think I mentioned that I did put in one of the posts in POD actually, or prospecting powerhouses, where we got like 27 replies and 15 bookings and 12 whatever. And that's how quick, if you do it well, that's how many you get. So you don't have to send out 30,000 emails. We find that we use in our process, we can get between 7 and 15 positive replies for every 100, 125 we send out. Now, I'm going to add a little bit of a PS on the end of this, in that you don't concentrate on the response rate. Forget the percentage. Absolutely forget about that.
100%.
Alex, we're both big fans of Jay Abraham and people like that, and they're all about the results. Don't worry about the percentage. That's all that matters.
It's the cost per acquisition is what you're looking for.
Yeah, exactly.
End results you're looking for. It doesn't matter if 5% open it and 3% respond if you get a return on the investment of $10,000. You don't give a crap about the percentage.
Exactly. And that's the point. Yeah. So if you're in any group or whatever and they start talking and then you say, even now I get so-called experts, and they're just keyboard warriors, but these so-called experts saying, oh, you only get like a less than 10% response rate. What's your open rate? You know what? I haven't a clue. I really don't know. And you know what? I don't give two hoots. All I'm interested in is the people who reply. We then send our follow-up up. And in my eyes, my response rate is if I get a little ping in my calendar or in my sales guys' calendars that we got an appointment booking for a strategy call. That's all that matters, because we know that's real live person who wants to hear our story that we can then go on and close. So yeah, it's very much, it kind of summarize everything what I've just said in the last couple of minutes. It's very much go for the pain point, put that in your subject line, the actual email itself, talk about the pain point, how you could maybe provide a solution and get in touch if they're interested. And then when they reply, follow up with a calendar link, get them booked on a call. And in effect, they've double opted in. Not only have they replied, but they've also gotten to a call. They're prepared to invest some time with you. And that's the most valuable thing that you can do.
So, Serb, I want to talk to you about my strategy and share this with powerhouses too, because it's very similar. And there's a reason why Serb doesn't say, just go straight for the jugular right away. Put in your calendar link, make your offer link, get them in. There's a reason why. People get turned off by immediate upfront offers. It doesn't mean that it's impossible to work if you make an immediate upfront offer. It can work. It's possible, but you're not going to get the same results. You're going to get a lot more people turned off from that process. I don't know who Serb is. I don't know who Alex is or Charlie or Chris. Whoever is sending me this email wants me to jump on a call with them. I don't even know who you are. Maybe you know my business, but I don't know you. I'm not interested. Now, if you send them an email, though, up front, touching on their pain point, expressing that you can help them, are you interested in that help? They need to reply back before they can get what your offer is. That is essentially a double opt-in. The idea of saying, yes, I'm interested, then that follow-up email is like, okay, great, book a call with me or my team here, and let's get you rolling in the right direction. That is a big key. Now, one of the ones that we've been utilizing, and this can work not just in cold email, it's literally any script that you utilize at all will work. It's the idea of asking whether or not someone wants more clients, more customers. Can you handle X amount of more business this month? The reality is everyone wants more business. It's very rare to find someone that says, no, I'm pretty good. Now, it does happen once in a while if a business is not scalable, as in a local company that does, tree trimming. If they have 50 projects in a month, they don't need more. They don't. Now, if you're a web design agency and they've got 3 projects in the month and they can handle 30, when they get an email that says, hey, can you guys handle 5 to 10 new website projects this month? The answer is going to be damn right we can. We'd love to. Now, the way that you can then turn that around is simply by emailing them back and letting them know, well, we can help you do that. Obviously, if you want more clients but you're not capable of getting them yet, you need help to do that. Let's get on a call and discuss how we can help you. You don't have to, in your cold emails, make an offer of what you're capable of doing. Most people don't give a crap on what you can do. They ultimately want to know how you can benefit their business. But by speaking about your service, your offers, what you do, it's not going to get them interested in who you are. Build rapport first. Give them value first. It's the same type of all outreach. One other thing I want to mention here that I think is critical to this, and I know Serb is doing this, and I think you're going to be able to speak on this, is how to create a inbound system for an outreach method. Now, everything in marketing, it's semantics, okay? So don't get your panties in a bunch if I'm saying something is an outbound or inbound method. The focus is on the time that you're putting into it. That's what I'm focused on. That's the wording that I'm looking at here. Now, ultimately, cold emails is an outreach method. You've got to compile the lists. You've got to create the message. You've got to send out the message, right? You've got to do all of that. And then you got to follow up and report and all that jargon, right? Now, the problem is you might not have enough time to do that. Even though most of the deliverability is actually scalable, you still have to follow up, make sure you're reporting and all that jazz, right? Well, here is very simply what you need to do. You can hire a VA that either works on commission or you pay them an X amount, whether they're in India, they're in the United States, in Canada, doesn't matter. Paying someone maybe $10 an hour maximum to send out a couple emails, 100, 200, either per week or per day, depending on what your ability to actually respond to is. If you're getting 500 emails a week, you better be prepared to have 50 calls booked. Can you handle that? Well, if you can't, then maybe you should only be sending 100 emails a week, 20 every 5 days, right? That, or 5 days a week, 20 a day. That could get you to what you're looking for in this process. It's not about the abundance mindset. It's about what will work for you. So how do you create this? How do you make this become a inbound method? You create the script. You show the VA how to get the leads. You show them how to set that automation up in your actual system, whether it's Mailshake, QuickMail, Woodpecker, whatever it is. And they do it for you. And now suddenly you wake up, Serb wakes up, oh, I have 3 calls booked today. Great. How did that happen? Through our email strategy. Now it's no longer an outbound method. It's an inbound method. So for example, for my team, I don't do any of the actual cold emailing. I have a team that does it for us. That makes it an inbound method. That is the most effective thing, because what are we trying to do as entrepreneurs? Create time and financial freedom while growing our businesses. That's the idea. So, Serb, is this something that you're doing as well? You're kind of creating this outreach strategy, making it an inbound strategy for yourself?
Yeah, it is. And we advise clients on it as well. There's a lot of people who will approach us and ask us about it, and we can show them how to do it in detail. But yeah, very much it's freeing up your time. And one thing, and I'm sure you'll agree because you're doing it already, and I hope everyone else on the call is doing it at the same time or is considering it, and that is to spend your money, not your time. Your money, you'll always earn again. If you're paying a VA in the Philippines $50, $100 a week, and they're doing all this for you, which they will. I mean, I've got 10 VAs, and 4 of them, that's their sole job, is just doing the outbound cold emailing and following up for us and logging everything. I mean, I can look now right now, and I can see on Google Sheets all the replies that we've had, and then I can then look on my calendar and I can see all the sales calls booked for us, for me and my sales guys. And if you spend your money, then that means it's freeing up your time. Now, a lot of people get it the other way around, and they think, oh, well, if I can save some money by spending my time. Well, if you think about it, no, because money you'll always earn again. There's loads of money out there. I know, if somebody's struggling to make, a couple of $1,000s a month or something, that might seem like a bit of a kind of an arrogant thing to say, but truly it is. And if you listen to what we're talking about on this and take the nuances as well, then you'll understand a few kind of pieces of jigsaw will fit into place. But if you spend your time, that's it. You're never ever going to get it back, no matter if you're 18 or 80. It doesn't matter. Once you spend that hour, 2 hours a day, a week, doing all that research or trying to figure it out for yourself, which is the stupidest thing you can do. If the knowledge is out there, whether it's as a an e-course or joining Alex's course, or I'm a very slight plug. We've got a few different services that we offer. Then you're freeing yourself up.
Cut your learning curve. That's the idea.
Oh yeah. I mean, right next to me now, I've got literally, if I count, I've probably got about 12 different marketing books that I can then just dive into, and it'll just jog my memory. Top of the list is Jay Abraham. We've also got Chet Holmes, The Ultimate Selling Machine.
Yeah.
We've got both of Russell Brunson's books. We've got Dan Kennedy book there.
The idea behind it is you have to continue learning and
100%,
implementing,
yeah.
and then don't be afraid to invest in your business. You guys are so keen on selling marketing services or web design service or SEO service, asking a business owner to invest in their business while you're sitting there building out a cold email strategy, doing all the LinkedIn strategy, making all your ads. You're not investing any of your own finances into your business. You're investing all of your time. And that's the only most powerful piece and asset that you have. It's the most valuable asset you've got, because it's never going to go, it's never going to come back, especially so if you have a family, if you have friends that you care about, you know, responsibilities. Look, if you're a solopreneur, you don't have anyone right now in your life that you're spending significant amount of time with, and you really want to invest heavy amount of time to build out these systems, that's okay. Most people end up doing that at some point. You have to invest time. We're not saying we are sitting here to tell you that no matter what you do, you never have to invest time. You usually do. But if you do it strategically, then you'll be able to grow your business, generate more leads while freeing up time as well.
Yeah. I was going to, if I could just jump in here very quickly. If it's a technical or an admin task, outsource it straight away. Don't even think about it. And everything what we're talking about, i.e. researching, trying to find emails, sending out the emails, doing the follow-ups, that's all admin, believe it or not. What you want to do is, all you want to see is, if you're on a call with a client, that is the best investment of your time, because you can convert that time into a recurring revenue stream, or, you know, doing a deal with a client. And, you know, just people, you know, we tend to use the Philippines because they're honest, they're loyal, they're diligent, they're responsible, and they're very task orientated. So if you actually write out step by step, which we do, you know, to, you know, step one, open up, you know, your browser.
Be very
step
specific.
two, go to once they do that, even if they try it for a day, you'll know there's been any holes in there, and you just jump in and improve them. Now, the hardest part, and I'm sure Alex will agree as well, is the hardest part is actually doing that in the first place, writing out your process, because you're thinking, oh yeah, I'll do it another day, but in the meanwhile, I've just got to get 100 email addresses, so I'll do it myself. No. Do it once, and it's so liberating, because you then pass it out, and then it's like, you just go a bit giddy and lightheaded, thinking, I can't believe I've left it so long.
So easy.
Why didn't I do that 10 years ago or 2 years ago? Why didn't they do that?
I think that's so common, right? There's that block. There's that mental block for people to actually like take action and push forward and just do the steps necessary to grow.
Literally. I mean, now's a great time because it's coming up over Christmas. A lot of people aren't going to be in work or whatever.
Correct.
So, but having said that, it's not all, for a lot of people, it's not all just, you know, constant parties and visiting families, Christmas dinners, and it's not at all. There's a lot of downtime over the next, you know, 4 or 5 days. So, or even, you know, week till New Year's Day. So why don't you use that time and actually start documenting your processes, so that come the beginning, you can actually, you know, it's 24/7 business. So, you know, you can start recruiting, going on Upwork, or, you know, some of the great virtual assistant groups on Facebook, and stick an ad in there saying, you know, you'd like somebody to come on board, do admin tasks, you know, whatever, and get somebody on board and get them to do a couple of trial days. And, you know, it's not going to cost you thousands. It's going to cost you $10-20 to try someone out for a day. And it'll be the best investment you've ever made at this stage. Yeah.
Here's my A to Z process for you guys, very simply. And I think Sir will agree with me here. The first step in this is to actually have the leads compiled. Now, how do you compile leads? One, make sure you understand your customer avatar, as in what their pain point is, and your offer, making sure that it's a solution. If you're just going to send out lists to a bunch of random leads and lists, it's not going to work. It has to be targeted, it has to be effective, it has to resonate with that audience. That's where you got to get started. That needs to be the first step to this. Now, how to compile leads, you can either do it manually, which I'd strongly recommend against, especially so because you can go on Upwork, you can go on these VA websites like vastaffer.com, or on Facebook in a VA group, and literally just ask someone, can I get 100, 250, 500 emails, verified emails? I'll pay X amount for it, and then you get them. And then guess what else? Then after you get them, you write out an email, either 1 or 2 or 3 email sequence. You put it together, you focus on their pain point. Then in the follow-up emails, your Calendly or appointment booking link, Then finally, as a follow-up, just to make sure, hey, did you get this? That's it. Takes maybe an hour to 2 hours for everything I just spoke about to set up this system, set up this process, and then you hand it off. And then the VA just does it. And then you optimize it as it's going on and making sure that you're getting closes and you're getting calls booked. If this works for myself, for Serb, for people in prospecting on demand, why wouldn't it work for you? What excuses are you making right now, as Serb and I are talking, to say that this is going to work? If you're making excuses, just write them down so we can break the barriers for you.
Yeah, put them in the comments. Put them in the comments below.
Margie said, is a short email of about 1 paragraph better for a cold email? I'm always interested in shorter emails for cold email. What do you think?
I would agree. For cold, you basically imagine, let's think of something. I don't know. I'm going to take a very hypothetical example here, but you might get the idea of what we're talking about, everyone on the call. So imagine if you're a doctor and, you're looking for new clients and you know that there's a flu bug going around at the moment. Then you would send that. You wouldn't do it obviously this way, but I'm just giving it an example. So you can then transfer that into a business scenario. But if you're a doctor, you would get 100 email addresses of people in your local area and you'd say, got a cold. That's that could be the subject line, got a cold. And then in it, are you suffering this flu at the moment? And then in the body, you'd say, are you suffering the flu at the moment? I know a lot of people locally are. We've been able to, cure a lot of people. We think we could cure you. Would you be interested? Boom. And that's it. That is it.
Short, sweet, to the point.
Yeah, and when somebody comes back to you, you can say, yeah, put you in for an appointment. Then great, here's my calendar, or here's my receptionist. Put you in, boom, you got, and that's it. So transfer that into a business situation. What is that? What does a business want? Imagine, I don't know, an industrial construction equipment supplier. They could send out an email to a load of local builders who they know don't have, excavators and that kind of thing, and say, having trouble moving, the earth or, whatever. And then you just say, we've been able to help a lot of people like you. We may be able to help you too. Boom, get in touch. And that's it.
So simple.
Yeah. And, you only have to send out 100, 150 of those style of emails to get the responses that you get and get booked on call. You don't need 30,000 or 1 million emails and, truly spam people. You just have to be very targeted, direct. And if you don't reply, then, to trying to be smart, then it doesn't matter. It's not the end of the world. You don't take it personally. Yeah. There's a guy there's a great program for anybody in the UK. They will probably know it, but it used to be on BBC. There's been a couple of series. A guy, it's been called The Call Centre, and it's the guy who runs it is a fella called Neville Wilshire, and he's a real character, but he's very sales driven. He's got big boiler room operations, selling deregulated gas, injury claim services, and all of this kind of thing. But basically, his thing is some will, some won't. So what? Next. And that's,
exactly
SWN. And if you just think that, you won't take it personally. And if you get a smart answer back, so you just laugh at it. Boom.
On to the next one. Also, another thing about responses, there are some people that are very kind people, and they might answer you and state hey, I know what you're trying to do with this email. I just don't like this part of it. I'm not interested in your service, but you might want to change this. If anyone ever responds to you in that way, take that olive branch. Take that opportunity to respond to them and say, hey, I really appreciate the feedback. Would you mind if I asked you a couple quick questions? Follow up with them on their customer avatar. Confirm it. What's the worst thing that can happen? They don't answer you back. But at the very least, some people do that. I've gotten emails back from doctors and lawyers and even digital marketers from my POD emails that would say something along the lines of, I think you're a little bit too aggressive here. Or I didn't like the terminology here. Also, fuck you. That's another one that I've got. Okay, so the F you, brush it off. These are ones I'm trying to learn from. I want to show you guys a cold email that's pretty much the worst one I've ever seen. And I think this will give you an idea of how not to go about this. So this is in my junk, meaning good on Google, did it correct. But I think this can give you an idea of what not to do. Because Serb and I are talking about something that if you were to create something like this based off what we were just saying, it's not exactly wrong, but now juxtaposing what Serb and I have been speaking about for the last 30 minutes versus what you're seeing here, I think you'll kind of understand this. Now, first of all, the emails from Outlook.com, so it's legitimate. It's not like fake or anything of that nature. It's legitimate. It's from Outlook. Now, their subject line is not what Serb and I have been speaking about, right? No one cares what you're offering very low prices on. Offering low prices on what? What are you selling me? I don't even know what you're talking about. Who are you? This is not a subject line you want in your emails. Now, after that, in a Mailshake, QuickMail, Woodpecker, any CRM that you're going to use for email blasts, it will have the opportunity to put in a name. Never send an email that says hi. It should say, hi, Alex. That's what it should say. It should say your name. Now, this email is about providing you services, your website, top ranking in Google. Now, obviously, the actual terminology and the grammar here completely destroyed, but that's not the focus here. Even if the terminology and grammar was perfect, this is not something that would be effective for a cold email. Who's going to look at this and say, you know, Chelsea, I'm really interested in this. Send me over some testimonials and service packages. Let's make it happen. She's going straight for the jugular. Now, this email is probably sent to 1 million plus. I'm guessing just hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people. But this is not effective. This is not going to work. This is not going to generate any opportunities. You have to really go in there and make an offer. So if Chelsea came in here and said, hey, Alex, hope you're doing great. Are you struggling to get your website ranked on top of Google in terms of your competition? If so, let me know. I'll give you a couple quick tips. Thanks, regards, Chelsea. Maybe I would have answered. Maybe I would have said, you know what, that's interesting. I am struggling. What could you do to help? That would then be the time she'd send back an email with the Calendly link, and we'd be on a call. That works. I'm going to show you one more here before we continue, because I want you guys to see how another one would look just like this, because I think this is another really good example of what not to do. So here's another one from Gaurav Tyagi. Now, the subject line is someone else's email. So obviously that's a huge mistake. But then the first line is actually pretty solid. It's very similar to what I said. Want more clients and customers, but it's not directed towards me. And that really loses out on the opportunity. We'll help you find them by putting you on the first page of Google or a fast-growing company based in India. No one cares about what your company is. We don't care that you have dedicated professionals. Doesn't matter where you're working. Everything in this email is about them and their company. The only thing that's about me is the first line. It has to always be about the audience. That's how cold email works. What are you thinking, Serb?
I'm just laughing because, yeah, I get one of those every single day. And you just, I think people are getting, the penny's dropping with most people now on the call. I would have thought that it's all about just speak about them and keep it short and to the point and ask if they're interested. That's it. Because you then want them to reply, and then that's when you then send the calendar link back to them and get them booked on a call, and that's when you do your magic. I mean, I know you mentioned about the post that I put on in your group on the 16th. If we could touch on that slightly, because it's how this is one piece of a jigsaw, and how as little as 3,000 emails can get you 1 million in annual recurring revenue. Mm-hmm. So that might be interesting.
Let's touch on it. Let's do it.
Yeah. So how we went about that, we basically sat down and said, right, okay, we want 1 million in annual recurring revenue. What does that equate to on a monthly? It's about 84K. So 84K, we want to be charging clients 3K each a month. So that means it's about 28, 29 clients. Right. Okay. Then, so 28 clients. If we find that we get 1 response for every 10 emails we send out, and then of the responses we get a call booking from every 10 responses, and then, argument's sake, we only sell 1 in 10, which we're a little bit better than that, but for the purposes of this, then it's 28 times 10 times 10 times 10, and that basically works out, I think, 2,800 emails. Is that right? If my sums are right, I'll just get the 280 28. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, so what we found is by working out numbers like that, we work the numbers in our favor. We've got 2 VAs both sending out 100, 150 emails a day each. By them doing that, we're getting the numbers in our favor. And if we're booking 5 or 6 calls a day, we only have to sell one of those every 2 days. And if you think 3 months is about 60 selling days, roughly, then it's one every other day. So one every 10 calls, and that's how you do it. And to get you 3K a month, then yeah, I mean, I don't know everybody's product. Everyone's product may be different, but have a think how you can build value, how you can charge more for your services, price for the value of what it's worth to the client. A commercial roofer, a job for him might be worth 20, 30, 50 grand, maybe 100 grand. So when you're going in and pitching them at 3K for your marketing services, that's not a big deal to him. So that's what we were doing. We were focusing on the higher paying clients, the ones where a single sale is worth, 10 times what we're asking or 5 times what we're asking. And then that way, then they were able to then, when we were speaking to them on the phone, they were then, it was a relatively easy sale or simple sale.
Absolutely.
Now, going into the kind of specifics of the selling, just going on a little bit further, you find that, even if they booked a call, you do get the feeling that they want to jump off the call as quick as possible. They just want to hear, how much is it? And then, bomb you off. Well, if you take, I'm always learning still, even after 20 years. But, I think Way of the Wolf right now by Jordan Belfort is a phenomenal book. Get it on Audible as well as Kindle, and it makes more sense. But if you read, I've read and heard that back probably about 7 or 8 times fully now.
Great book. He also has Facebook Lives you can watch. Like a lot of people, I know this is silly, sir, but it's very true. A lot of people don't resonate with books just because they're in a age.
Well, I find Audible works. Audible's great now.
I use that
anything Grant
Cardone every single day. All the time. Audible, Tim Ferriss on loop all the time. It's my favorite. Jay Abraham all the time as well. And I do have Way of the Wolf waiting to listen to it, but I've listened to some of his free stuff on Facebook that he had, and it's great. It's just so simple. A couple things that Sir mentioned that I want to bring up here that I think is critical. He was talking about spending the time to build that foundation rather than just attacking and just randomly sending shit out. It's critical to build that foundation. It's critical to understand the numbers and metrics you're trying to hit. It's the idea of starting a race without knowing the finish line. That doesn't make any sense. How can you have the stamina to keep up? Well, let's make this very simple. If it's a 4,000 meter race and you're sprinting like it's a 100-meter race, how are you going to make it to the finish line? You won't. On the opposite end of the spectrum, if it's a 100-yard dash and you're walking at a snail's pace because you think it's an 1,000-meter race, you're going to lose out. I'm not talking about competition necessarily. I'm talking about what you want to accomplish in your business. If you don't actually have numbers or laid out processes or what you're trying to expect and results that you're expecting and tracking and 80-20ing, you're wasting your time. You're wasting your time. You came on here so we can share with you some ideas about cold emails and tips and processes, which we have. But for this process to work, you have to understand your offer, understand your customer avatar, understand the pricing, understand the return on the investment potential. This is what we're talking about. That's why Sir just broke down the $1 million strategy that he had and how it worked. It's not just some pipe dream. It's not like, hey, VAs, I want to make $1 million. Can you help me out? Sure. That's not how it works. You've got to put down on paper what you're trying to accomplish, how this will actually work, what the numbers look like. Even if you're not a math person, you still have to take the time to do this. Otherwise, things are random. Stop trying to think about how do I just close the next $1,000 client.
Yeah.
Start thinking about how can I build a business to get to a process where I'm consistently closing clients at that price point.
Yeah, something that we do in everything, no matter what product or service that we're offering, we always make sure there's a strong guarantee as well with it. Again, we've talked about Jay Abraham slightly, but he calls it risk reversal, but it's just having a strong guarantee. Everything that you offer, make sure the guarantee is strong and it's upfront. It's, when people ask me what we do guaranteed results marketing. So what does that mean? Well, ask me and I'll tell you. But it doesn't matter what it's in, whether it's cold email and telesales, PR, whatever. We always agree an outcome for the client and we back it with a guarantee. A lot of times it's a double your money back guarantee what we offer because we know we're good.
You're going to get results.
And that we're going to get the results. And if we don't, then, it's on us. But
if you're gonna get the
time,
results, right? Let's
yeah,
pause here though for a second and make something very clear. If you're not confident you're going to get results, don't make guarantees. Don't
yeah,
be that person to make a sale just because you can make a guarantee that you can't back up.
yeah. The key thing, I mean, for instance, when we do, say we're doing a telesales campaign for somebody or something like that, or telemarketing, will say, we can't book you a single appointment in the next 30 days. We will give you double your money back.
Right,
Now,
like a low-hanging fruit type of
yeah, yeah.
guarantee.
And, but what it is it's all in how you present it as well. But what it's telling you is, or it's telling the client or the prospect, is that you've got faith in your services and you're backing yourself to do it. Now you'll get the smart one saying, "Oh, a single appointment. So what if you get me one appointment? Does that mean they're getting the same?" No, that's not really. I think you're kind of treading over the spirit of the guarantee. Basically, what I'm saying is that we know what we can do. We're not going to strike out for you. If we can get you one, we can probably get you 20. That's what I'm saying.
Yep.
So, it's on us basically. And if we can't get you one in the next 30 days, then that's our fault, not your fault. So, you deserve to ask and expect to receive double your money back. And, we find that works brilliantly. And it's a great leveler as well, because when somebody says, "Oh, I'm talking to somebody at another company," or, my uncle's wife's dog's brother does SEO or does telemarketing, they said they're going to do it cheaper. Well, why don't you talk to them? What's their guarantee? And it just sets you apart. And that's a lot of the time. That's what you've got to do. I mean, we could talk about strategies like lumpy mail and things like that. Anything that sets you apart is what's going to win you the business. And
100%.
we find that with the guarantee and even a double your money back guarantee, it makes people do a little bit of a second look, thinking, "Hang on a minute, what? I've never heard this." Yeah, I mean, we've been to J. Walter Thompson or some fancy marketing guru on Facebook or something, and they don't offer a guarantee. What makes you? And so it just throws people, but it allows you to at least present, but more importantly, allows you to win the business.
I'm totally in agreement with you here. It's interesting that you offer guarantees like that, because we're very adamant about not offering guarantees because of the difficulty in marketing to actually land the business that you plan on. But there are certain offers that you can guarantee specifics, and if you're intelligent about the guarantee, then there's an opportunity to result in it.
Yeah, I mean, as an aside, if you hold that thought for a moment, Alex, I mean, we do lead gen services. That's one thing that we do.
Yep.
I mean, and we get people saying, "Oh, well, you charge how much per month?" And we tell them, we say, "We'll send you all the leads that we generate. We don't do things on a per lead, because our leads we think are better. The pre-qualified, the warm, the responsive, etc., etc. They're not bought in off a list or anything like that. But we do it on a monthly, because then they can't compare us to anybody else. Number one.
Yep.
So they can't say, "Well, you're charging us the equivalent of, $50 or $100 a lead, and this fella down the road's only $5 or $10. Yeah, and what information do you get from him?" So I don't get into those debates. But it also lost my train of thought now.
No, the one thing that you
with
mentioned that
regards
I
to
think is big, and I want to touch on this in regards to.
I know what it is. Yes, I know. Here we go. It's basically on if you're selling a marketing service, don't promise sales. Promise results, i.e. responses back, or like I say when I telemarketing, if we can't book you a single appointment in the next 30 days, something like that, where you've got a little bit of control. If you talk about sales, then you're reliant on their sales skills, on
That's
third
the
parties. And we
key.
never ever. So on the leads thing,
Know your job. That's the idea.
Yeah, these guys on the lead gen, they might think they're being clever, saying, "Well, I'll tell you what then, we won't give you the monthly that you're asking for, but if we sell, then we'll give you X amount." No. We've done our bit. We know we can give you the leads. But then you're making me reliant on your sales guy. And, who to say? I mean, at the end of the day, I'm not going to ring up every last lead and say, "Did you buy from Joe Blogs?"
Yeah.
I'm going to have to trust you. And if you come back to me and, at the end of the month and say, "I didn't sell a single one of your leads, I'm not paying you anything," then, I don't know if you're lying or not.
Yep.
So no, they've got to have skin in the game. So always, no matter what you are, never start a pro. This is something I suppose for the newer ones. I think the more sort of time served marketers on the call
Knows
will know
this.
this.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, but never tap a key on your keyboard or never pick up a pen until they've sent you some money. Because once they've sent you some money, it accomplishes two things. It pre-programs them to pay you, and two, they've got skin in the game, so they're going to value what you send them.
This is
If
just
I
a
sent
key
if I
thing.
sent
Remember,
50,
no free trials. That's not
yes,
a thing.
yeah,
Don't
yeah,
do that.
I'll give you a preferential rate. I'll give you extra service, but no,
No,
money's
you
always
gotta
got to
pay.
change
You gotta
hands.
pay. It's a
Yeah,
requirement. One thing as
yeah,
well that Sir mentioned, and this guys is converting from getting someone to book a call with you on a cold email, how to actually close with you, right? How does that make sense? Serb uses this guarantees thought process. He also mentioned one other thing that I want to touch on before we head off today, and that was the idea of someone getting on a call and saying, "Hey, just want to know the numbers. Let me, that's it. Bye." It's what we call window shopping, right? Like price hopping, price shopping, window shopping. I don't care what your offer is. I just want to know the price. Now, here's the biggest and easiest way to overcome that. One, if someone's window shopping, that means they're probably very aggressive on making a decision only based on price rather than the value provided. You need to be able, as a salesperson, to convert that. How do you do it? Very easy. Well, let's say that person's name is Chris, and you say to Chris, well, look, I completely understand you're looking for price here, but for us to be able to provide you the price, we don't have standard pricing. What we do is we curate your campaign based on what your needs are, what your expectations are, and what our company or our business is providing to you. That's how we curate and make sure that every campaign that we create is going to deliver results, rather than it just being a boilerplate offer. But if you want to understand where the minimum is so we can make sure that we're going to be on the same page, it's going to be X. That minimum that you put there is to pre-qualify them to not waste 30 minutes of your time. If they're unwilling to even spend $500 with you, they're not someone you want to work with. If they're looking only to be spending 150 bucks, move on to the next one. But that's a really good way to kind of get it. Now, what we've spoken about here today is the process of utilizing cold email, some of the tips and tricks you can utilize in messages to send out, how to get on VAs to actually make this system become more automated for you. And then once you get on book calls, how to sell those people on your services, whether it's through a guarantee, whether it's through understanding the idea of window shopping, giving them preferential treatment, and really getting to understand their biggest pain points and how you can solve them. Now, hopefully, guys, you enjoyed today's Friday Face-Off. I certainly did. If you want to be working with Serb or hear more from Serb, I'm going to hand this over to him. Essentially, he also has a Facebook group that you can join. It's called the Marketers Playbook, right?
it's the Marketing Winners Community.
Marketers Winners Community. Go check that
Or
out
the
right now.
marketing, sorry. If we put it in the, I'll put it in the comments.
Yeah, we'll throw it in the comments below. You can
Yeah.
also reach out to Serb, obviously, on Facebook as well. He obviously knows his things. And if you guys need help with cold emails, if you need to really grow your business like this, please feel free to get in touch with him. Otherwise, we'll be here in Powerhouses as always. Guys, I will see you on the next one. Serb, thank you so much for being here today. And everyone have a wonderful, wonderful holiday weekend. We'll see you on the next one, guys.
Okay, thank you. And speak to everyone soon. Happy holidays.